Just when I thought I had enough of these new IPs from left and right, I found myself something called Project M, right? An action RPG from a South Korean developer going by Hound 13. Actually, it's the same folks in charge of the mobile game 100 Souls, some of you might be familiar with. So check out real quick and make sure to, if you have any questions, leave a comment below. Well, the game also doesn't have a release window just yet, so keep it in mind for now.
하늘에 계신 어머니시여, 저희는 지구를 지키지 못했습니다. 적들을 물리치고 인류를 구원하려는 신성한 의무를 다하지 못하였습니다. 하지만 이제 저희가 다시 내려와
So if you dig action adventures, just Bayonetta, tight suits, good music to boot, you probably have an idea what Project Eve may be. If not, Project Eve is a post-apoc sci-fi AAA game on a destroyed version of Earth, carrying its glory with a 4-minute proper gameplay since its PS showcase from a few months ago, and possibly due out early next year if not late, and it's coming to PCs and also consoles at the same time.
뭐 다 지난 얘기지만 말이야. 잠깐이 네이티브가 시체에 기생하고 있다니. 매복이야! 그날 이후 지성의 도시들은 모두 예비처럼 폐허가 됐어. 잘나신 분들은 우주로 달아나고 나가는 놈들은 이곳에 버려졌지.
마더스피어의 구원을 아직 기다리고 있는 거야.
Odin's got tricks up his sleeve we haven't dared to consider.
What if there was someone who could help us?
You mean Tyr, the old god of war in these lands?
So God of War's Ragnarok has a release window of 2022, but according to a listing just now, the game's due is very near. We're talking only a few months away from now. There's still a lot of surprises left in the store with this game, though besides the new characters, such as Freya and Thor, we probably won't even have to wait much longer to find about them either. Just in case you missed it, here's what the game actually looks like.
War is not the only way.
Stop thinking like a father for a moment and start thinking like a general.
No! You seem like a calm and reasonable person. Are you a calm and reasonable person? In moments of crisis, panic does nothing.
Well, I highly doubt there's any of you missing out on Black Myth Wukong at the moment, but just in case, this is an action RPG based adventure, even an open world to some extent, featuring the Monkey King himself, that was actually unveiled years ago. Anyway, right now there's no confirmed release window for Black Myth Wukong, but the Chinese developers Game Science said they're aiming PCs and consoles for the game in the year 2023, so keep it in mind. So the second Project M on this list, Project Magnum, however, on the other hand, supposedly a console exclusive for PlayStation alongside PCs, is, well, I can't quite put my finger on, John, to be honest, but something in the same vein as the Gears of War games or even Halo or The Last of Us, for all I know. Nevertheless, still in pretty early stages of development, pretty unique for sure, looking forward to this one myself, but like I said, pretty far from release and possibly due out even in the year 2023, or even 4. Just have a look. Moving on, for just now, a release window for Atomic Heart is yet to be announced, but we do know the game is in its final stages of development. To be honest, I even have enough reasons to believe this game finished and only waiting for the right moment to strike. I don't know, Atomic Heart is set in the Soviet Union, 1955, that is in case you were wondering, and we don't really know what's going on with all the robots as well, so this is how the game looks like, and you might also want to know the game's targeting both consoles and PCs upon release.
For as long as I can remember, I have looked for an equal.
Marvel's Spider-Man 2, however, scheduled for a 2023 release as well, and will be available on the PlayStation 5 only. It's an exclusive game, of course. The new game, and well, also a sequel to the studio's 2018 game, this time takes place after a different story. There is a darker story going on around here. Insomniac Games said itself, with gameplay improvements, of course, and expanding greatly upon its predecessor. Check it out in case you've missed it.
Will one of you finally give me what I desire?
Did you ever wonder how a Japanese dinosaur game since the old Dino Crisis might look like if they came up with the idea? Well, meet The Lost Wild, a dino survival horror, possibly an open world in portions as well, I don't know. What folks at the company describe takes inspiration from games such as Resident Evil and Dino Crisis, then even Jurassic Park and some Alien Isolation to boot. Check it out, this game's still lacking a release date. Horizon Forbidden West is now scheduled to release on the PlayStation 5 and 4 February 18th next year. You probably already know that. And in a journey of survival, discovery, and a lot of lore to boot. Forbidden West, the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn, takes you into a new environment, populated by new tribes and even bigger machines, bringing in new elements, new folks, and a world twice as big as the last game. Check it out.
Gotta keep moving.
Bring us around! Taking torch! Fire now!
That must have hurt.
Fire! Fall back!
I have to stay ahead of it. Gotta slow you down.
Keep it level! Fire that thing!
probably know already, but there's been an incredible amount of demand and popularity into Cyberpunk said video game since Cyberpunk Peak 2077. So what happened is indie developers are starting to come up with new ideas into the gaming scene with this setting. One that's been catching a lot of attention lately goes by Vigilance 2099, an open world action RPG. This is how it looks like, on PCs only, and we're still waiting to hear about a release date in the coming months.
So, what's the status?
Just confirmed our source. He's been here. Even better, he's a regular.
Meaning,
Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora, one of the most ambitious games for next year. An open world adventure, James Cameron himself promised, by the way, also being created by Ubisoft's Snowdrop engine, is on its track of 2022 release for PCs, PlayStation 5, Stadia, and Xbox Series X and S at an unspecified date, possibly in late 2022, and into a world actually what they said is never seen before in the movies, in a third-person perspective and a good story to boot. Check it out in case you've missed it. Dying Light 2 Stay Human also releases February 4th next year, targeting PlayStation and Xbox consoles, old and new, and of course PCs. The game's a parkour-based survival horror open world with a ton of hype to boot at this point, with crossplay enabled as well, online multi. I mean, I don't care about the online, but in my opinion, it's actually one of the best games to come out next year. Definitely a day one pick for me, and this is how it looks like.
We strike down an enemy. We absorb their strength.
But I can't let that happen. At least, not yet. I need the secrets the city holds.
Fuck! Hey! Still some rats here!
I have to pick a side.
The Bazaar needs good people.
You're doing great so far.
I have to make a difference.
Let's check and see.
They say that great change is a series of small gestures.
And also, as November draws closer, we're also getting nearer to that finished Battlefield 2042 game as well. On the other hand, if you have actually played the game's beta recently, you'd probably want to skip all this. If not, the game releases November 19th and into PCs and PlayStation consoles and also Xbox, and this is how it'll eventually look like. Also, it's not a battle royale game, so check it out. Bright Memory Infinite, on the other hand, still on track for a 2021 release, by the way, into consoles and PCs, is a first-person shooter, hack and slasher, just like Shadow Warrior games, in case you're familiar with them. This game takes place in the year 2036, in case you're wondering, after a global climate catastrophe, and all of that comes from one person. I mean, the game is being made by just one person. Developed, written, published, and created by just one person. Check it out, right?
Secret, but I'm a pretty big deal. Real big deal. We are getting out of this city, Homer. I promise we'll go somewhere that loves cats.
By Square Enix Project Athia, by then I mean when it was announced a year ago, and now Forspoken, since a few months ago, an action RPG, open world in the same vein as Final Fantasy XIV, is now targeting PCs and PlayStation 5 spring next year. We're not sure precisely when, but check it out. This is what they actually came up with the recent PS showcase, and it's absolutely gorgeous.
Wait, stop! Stop! Whoa. Where on earth is this?
Athia.
Who's there?
And technically not Earth. Well, not what you would call Earth, anyway.
I swear to God, asshole, show yourself!
Show myself. I've shown.
Where are you?
Right here, at the end of your arm. Oh, hello, yes.
Okay, so let me get this straight. I'm somewhere that's not what I would call Earth. I'm seeing freaking dragons, and oh yeah, I'm talking to a cop. Did I just do that?
We did.
I just moved shit with my freaking mind! Yeah, okay, that is something I do now. I do magic, kill jacked up beasts, I'll probably fly next.
Secondly, brutal gangsters, tough guys like you and me are to hell right now.
Pygamer, on the other hand, is a first-person shooter that does, if not just in the second, maybe in a few seconds, look a bit on the unusual side of things like Atomic Heart, or that's a kind of. It's still Russian though. So now what's interesting is that this game was announced a few years ago, and only no more than a year ago we finally got to see more gameplay of it. Here in all of its MMO glory, and possibly due out sometime next year.
Yes, the storm doesn't disappear to this day. As survivors, we have somehow adjusted to new ways. We have rebuilt fortifications, shelters. We continue to explore the islands and still look for solutions and reasons. But there is always a lot of destruction and hatred among us.
But he's my brother. And I would die for him.
A Plague Tale, in a sense, well, the second chapter in its action-adventure, survival horror, maybe, depending on how you look at it, is now due to hit the Xbox Series, PlayStation 5, and PCs sometime next year. Even Switch. This game, in my opinion, is pretty good, improved upon its original formula without losing anything important, and into a new environment as well, across the seas, and actually more, it's a bit of a more story-focused game, so just check it out. And last but not least, while Crimson Desert's release date is currently a mystery, Perlebiz folks said they would provide an update on that pretty soon. Crimson Desert, which is an open world action RPG from the makers of Black Desert Online, in which your job was to travel to different regions and uniting them like, you know, the Game of Thrones, was supposed to be released this year, but now it's possibly coming out sometime next year.